Yeah, yeah.
But there was no argument. We'll just take it back. And he viewed that that was marketing costs. No different than Zappos is viewing it as marketing costs. The goodwill, the word of mouth, all of those good things.
Yeah. That kind of brings me on to my next point. This isn't that hard to put into place. We can read plenty of books. We can come and listen to fine people like yourself who impart this knowledge on how to do it. There's a difference between thinking and actually executing it. Like, do you have any advice on people that know they should be doing this, how to actually get it into place to kind of overcome those barriers and really execute and drive these sales strategies and systems?
So I do, Ben, and you are so right. The answer is, I'm going to call it two words. There's actually a connected word, but systems and processes.
Yeah.
Systems and processes. When I was formally educated as an accountant, and it isn't,
I won't hold it.
It isn't natural for me to be an accountant. I'm a purebred entrepreneur and sales guy, but my adult mentors, when I was a teenager, said, if you want to build businesses and have them be successful, understand how the numbers work. So I've been formally educated in systems and processes. But when I go into a company and look, there's been massive progress on systems and processes in so many sectors of the business, except the sales area. Well, that looks like a complete insane asylum, and every guy is doing his own thing. The largest sales force I ever had responsibility for leading was 2,600 sales guys on the street. There aren't 2,600 best ways to do this.
Yeah.
We could probably come up with like the best way to do it and then teach everybody else how to do it.
Yeah.
So it's about process, it's about system, it's about preparation, it's about training, it's about scripting, it's about accountability, it's about tracking, it's all measurement, things that get measured get done. Now, all of what I just listed out there, that just sounded terrible to salespeople. I'm the worst guy in the world when it comes to this because they don't want to be tied down.
Yeah.
They want to be loose, right? And they went into sales because they said, of all the places I could go, this is a place that they'll be a little looser. All right? And they want to make things up on the spot. I've gone out and rode side by side with salespeople, spent a full day with the same salesperson, and they're the bottom 50% guy. They're not one of the top producers. 7 calls, 4 of them, the person says, your price is too high. All 4 times, that same sales guy says something entirely different. Here's what that tells me. He doesn't know what to say when somebody says your price is too high. So each time he just makes something up, right? When you go out with a top producer and somebody says your price is too high, if 4 guys said your price is too high in the same day, all 4 guys would get an answer that sounded almost identical because that person figured out what worked.
Yeah.
They got it down.
Yeah.
So they have a system and a process.
Yeah.
That's the key. You'll enjoy this. I started my professional speaking career inside the financial services industry where I had a company that I owned. And I was speaking inside my industry, and I had 1,200 people in the audience, and they were all my competitors. Yeah. And I'm teaching them in this hour and a half how to produce better sales. My sales guys come up afterwards and say, hey, listen, what are you doing? You're telling our competitors, how to do, what to do. Yeah. We shouldn't be doing that. And I said, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to do anything with this. All I'm doing is recruiting the top guys.
Yeah. Because
people don't take the actions. That's the dilemma.
I completely agree. So this big void that you're talking about is there are the underperformers and the overachievers, overperformers, and the key thing between them in relation to sales is developing those systems and really taking this, their sales approach to the next level.
Absolutely. Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Excellent. So the next category I want to talk about is inside tips. And you carry something called a money bag. Can you tell us what that is and why we should have one?
Yeah, it's difficult without my prop.
Oh,
But nonetheless, so I have this. I have this little pouch, and I carry it with me everywhere. And in there are my thank you cards that the company has provided me, and but I have my own thank you cards that are way more powerful than the company issued, and I'll tell you about them in just a minute. I have my business cards in there. I have my pen in there, and I have a special pen that I use all the time. It's my color and my look. People have remarked about my bright blue eyes, so I have a blue felt tip pen. I have a ballpoint pen in there too, because the blue felt tip pen on an envelope on a rainy day may not get where I'm sending it, so I use ballpoint on the pen on the other envelope. And I have some specialized stamps. And I went out and had a stamp done with my a portraiture in a coat and tie. I have a stamp as me being an Iron Man, because I've done the Iron Man on several times. So I'm on my bike as Iron Man Jack, and it's just another way of being different than my competitors. Well, here's how it works. Whenever I make a business call with someone, whenever any salesperson makes a business call with someone, you exchange business cards. And when you exchange your business card with me, Ben, if I were calling on you, I would leave here and go out into the parking lot. And the first thing I would do is I would take my BlackBerry or some instrument like that, and I'd put you into my database and send you a thank you. I have had clients that have subsequently hired me and who have said they got it so quick that they went to the guy next to him and said, "Look at this, I got an email from Jack Daly. He's still going to be in the building." And it was that quick. And what I'm doing is I'm saying, I'm a very proactive communicator, and I'm going to stay on top of your business. And what happens is I'm playing with their head, right? Now, I sit in the parking lot, I address this thank you card to you, and my specialized cards are all different, and they have a variety of different photos of me on them. So they have a photo of me golfing, and they have a photo of me drinking wine, and a photo of me running, and triathlons, and dancing, and swimming, and I have one of my favorites is I'm at Hugh Hefner's Playboy Mansion with 6 playmates by the pool, and that's for the guys that I call on to think that they're real ladies' men. Anyhow, I try to find a way that we can connect. And I learned when I was a teenager in sales, and it's been true my whole life, people do business with people they like, and they tend to like people that are more like them. So I'm trying to find something we'll bond on. If I don't, then I'd use my company-issued cards. But I make out that card right there in the parking lot, put it in the postal before I leave, because I want it on your desk the very next day. And the combination of the email message right upon leaving and the very next day a handwritten message, that really takes them over the edge, because it's different. Right?
Within 24 hours, you've had a meeting.
Yep.
Everyone that you met with has received an email. So there's 4 people in this meeting. 4 emails,
absolutely.
4 thank you cards.
You betcha.
Within 24 hours.
You betcha.
Wow.
You bet. And what they're saying in their heads is, my current sales guy that does business with me doesn't do anything like this, and I bet this guy is all over our account in terms of service if we were to give him the business. So I call this a money bag, because the bag has made me a bundle of money. And it's just so easy. Now, there's a couple thoughts about this. There are salespeople that write thank you cards occasionally, but they're on the road for 2 or 3 weeks. They accumulate these business cards, and then on a rainy day at home, they'll write them out. Well, that's 3 weeks later. I've already stolen the account, right?
Yes, that's true.
It's the immediacy that is the key. And so that to me, I think, is the real message, right?
Yeah. Interesting. So the next thing I want to talk about is, what specific tools would you use to generate more sales in a high-cost B2B environment? A lot of sales tends to focus on just these one-off sales, but the reality is the most business value is generated in these big B2B transactions.
Yeah. So, it's a big question. and I'm going to try and make it a short answer, but it's going to be difficult, right? The first key is you need to create what I call perceived value. People, the minimum price of admission in business, especially with B2B, is you have to bring real value. I mean, and we spend most of our time and resources in our companies building real value. But if that's all you build, then I have news for you. You're going to have a tough time getting new customers because new customers don't buy real value. Watch. You can't. The only thing you buy is the perception of value. I perceive doing business with this company will get me these benefits. But until we actually get into the dance, we don't know, right?
Yeah.
So we ought to have separate sessions where we create perceived value. So that's number one. And then number two, that's closely connected with it, is that I think you have to build trust. And I think you build trust by bringing value to that account. And I say you do that by way of a multiple touch program over a period of time in a variety of different ways. So I could touch you by personally visiting you. I could touch you with a phone call. I could touch you with an email. I could touch you with a snail mail, regular postal. I could touch you with voicemail. I could touch you with a fax. Now, if all I did in touching you, though, was send you things about my products and services, that's not building trust.
No.
That's the guy that's trying to sell you something. And B2B, and especially, doesn't want that. So, but what if I were touching you with things on how to be better at what you do, how to sell your product creatively different, how to sell it, how to sell more of it to your existing clientele, and I were bringing you these cutting edge ideas by reading things that are in the outside business community that my prospect isn't aware of, or my clients that I have today. I could go to the industry that they're in and suck down a whole lot of good stuff and then touch them with it along the way. And so I would rather be viewed as the guy that every time that I touched them, I wasn't trying to sell them anything. I was bringing them things on how to generate more business in their own context and have them say to me, can I see what you do?
Yeah.
That would be so refreshing, right? Now, once we do that, then you better bring the real deal. You better bring the goods. You can't just sell perception, particularly in the B2B, and then not deliver on the promise, right? So it takes both.